Hello YouTubers, welcome to another episode. It's pretty much fully dark now. The clocks will most likely, or they definitely are, going back or forward or somewhere soon to get those lighter mornings. But until then, it's going to be a dark mornings until then. Until then, it's going to be dark. But today is about motivation, especially in the winter, and how to stay motivated when you're going to work, you're going to training and it's dark, and you go inside and you miss out the sun, and you come out of training and it's dark, and it's just like, ugh. Alright, but first, gotta get changed, gotta start some training for the morning. Alright, let's get to it.
Break up, then we make up. Act like we're gonna be friends. Blaze the fire, take me higher. Leave it on.
And we've made it into the crew room after a wonderful erg. Feeling fitter even during the morning. Darkness ergos. Got my breaded egg toast. Or even just breaded egg bread. No, not even toasted. Absolutely delicious. And time to fuel up, because food is fuel, and then we're going to get to another session. Hopefully the wind doesn't pick up and the water stays flat. Oh yeah. And we've had a lovely meeting, we've had a lovely rest. Fraser's here, he's not been here in a while. We've had a few people have been asking for you. What have you got to say to people?
For reals? People have been asking for me. Oh, that's so nice.
Oh yeah. So we've got a session on the water in half an hour. Fraser, where you been?
Right, like just now, I was on the toilet, but before that, I've been sculling, and Cam sweeps, so he doesn't hang out with me anymore because he only hangs out with sweepers. So.
The cool kids. Oh yeah. But Fraser is moving into the house finally after about 7 weeks of me being alone in the house. Plus we don't have water yet.
2 days. 2 days till water, hopefully.
Hopefully. We're getting a new well board. Alright, now it's time to get in the water. Very well. Aye, it was a good paddle, and now it's time. Aye, it's time for food is fuel. All right, let's get to it. And we've not made it to the crew room. We're going into the kitchen. Oh yeah, let's see it. Oh yeah, we've got some lasagna, some delicious food for lunch. And now we've made it into the crew room. Oh yeah, we've got some delicious lasagna. They've changed how we're ordering the food. We're allowed more veg, which is absolutely fantastic because that is good fuel to fuel up after a wonderful session. Ah yes, and then we're going to talk a bit about motivation once again through the winter. Let's get to eating, fueling up, and then chat. Alright. And that's us finished fueling for the afternoon. We've got a session of weights later on, and Robson's been purchasing some stuff, yes! Got some new cycling kit for like the one cycle that we have left. Two cycles that we have left. But you always got to look good, because remember, look good, feel good, roll good, / insert any other activity in the third. Oh yeah,
Full Team Sky. Full Team Sky.
Oh yeah, represent. And let's talk about motivation. Obviously, step one to motivation for the winter is watch my videos. Ha! Just kidding. No, that's not. That's good. I mean, you could help, but big part of motivation, goals. Goals really help with motivation. So you've got to score them goals. Now you've got to set them goals, set some goals, and then really sort of strive for said goals. Oh yeah, goals. And why is setting up some goals important? Well, it gives you a target, something to strive towards, especially in the winter. So for example, you could go for something in the summer, next summer when it's sunny and awesome. Like for example, let's throw out some getting that summer bod ready. So you could be just getting in the gains for the winter and then feed them into the summer. Or you could think about it like some sort of race in the summer to get faster for, some sort of team selection, maybe some national team selection, etc. But it really focuses the mind in the times of darkness to come out in the time of light. Oh yeah! And now we have to re-rig the 8 after the Brit Champs weekend. Oh yeah! And we've made it into the gym. We've got some gains training to do. Oh yeah! And we've also got Dwayne Wade on air. The weight session, absolutely fantastic. The gains train doesn't stop, but now it's time to get some fuel, head back to the house, and maybe discuss another bit about motivating yourself through the winter and the dark months. Alright, let's get to it. And we've made it back into the house for a little bit of a chat about motivation again, once I put the camera down. Alright. So, step one, obviously, is making goals, whether they're stretch goals, short-term goals, whatnot, just to give yourself something to strive for. And then motivation, like I've said before, especially during the winter months, is trying not to get sort of stagnant. So what I mean by that is you don't want to just sit and do the same thing over and over again. You want to like change things up. You want to use variation, because that can really, like I've said in vlogs before, variation can really be a key to motivation, and that doesn't change when you're going through the winter. So rowing in the winter is very cold because it's an outdoor sport, and it can be very sort of, okay, the weather's terrible, so we're indoors, we're lifting weights, we are on the rowing machine doing indoor workouts. So what indoor workouts can be very enjoyable, but it limits or changes the amount of variation you can have. So it's finding the times and finding the opportunities to do different things to make sure that you're really enjoying everything that you're doing, rather than getting a bit fed up of, say you're going to erg twice a day, every day, until the water thaws. In the springtime, you can get a bit fed up of the rowing machine, even if you're just yamming on it every day. It is possible to get a bit bored of it. So that's when you want to kind of make sure, and you're listening to your body, listening to your mind on how you're enjoying things. So you can also go and just look at different modalities. So you've got the rowing machine, you've got your weights, you've got your the bike, whether it's a watt bike, the Concept 2 bike, or whatever bike, indoor one. and you've got many other ways to train, to cross-train. And I talked about cross-training in a few vlogs ago, and how good that can be for keeping up that variation and therefore keeping up the motivation. But I think that is the greatest part of motivating yourself through the winter, and that is setting those goals. So when it's getting on those dark days, when it's -10 Celsius, not Fahrenheit, and your hands are numb and you're trying to row just like you could in the summer because you were a bit loose, but you're a bit cold now and you're wearing 17 layers, you're not even sweating, you're shivering. It's on those days when you think, okay, why am I doing this? And then you say, okay, I've got a goal in X number of weeks or months that I'm aiming for, and this is why I'm doing that. And then on top of that, you can also go to the variation side. So once you've got that, okay, I've got this goal in 14 weeks or 5 months or whatever that time period for you is, you say, okay, it's going to be tough. I'm going to have some bad days. I'm going to want to just say, no, that is enough. And also accepting that is a big thing too. Accepting that, yes, there will be bad days. Not every day can be rosy, but accepting that you can have bad days and then saying, this is going to be worth it when I do all of this training over this time period, and then I come out the other side fitter, stronger, more flexible, depending on what your goal is. And so, for example, rowing, you can go through the winter and then you've got racing season in the summer. So you think, okay, my goal is to get a gold medal at this regatta in, say, July or August or September or June. And you say, okay, what do I need to do to get there? I need to pull this split. I need to get this fit. I need to be able to row this well. I have to do this on the bike, or whatever your goal is, whether it's sport related or not. Whether I have to, okay, I need this qualification by this time so I can apply for this job, or I need to do this so I can do this internship coming up, but I need this qualification and then I need that to apply to university. All these things can tie together and they can really be set up just by saying, okay, what are my goals and what do I need to do to get there? And then you can rewind to where you are now, and then you can set up the plan and set up shorter term goals. So say you have that regatta in the summer, that's quite a long period of time. So you say, okay, how am I going to build strength? I'm going to do some tests in between. So I hit those test peak times, perform well at those. You could say, okay, there's a couple of regattas in between. I'm going to race those and see how I do compared to the other people. If you needed that qualification, maybe you do, the qualification is 2 months away and you do a test or some other smaller qualification in a month or something like that. But I think that's really how I look at motivating myself through the winter. Obviously, having the lads, having the good group of people, having the Yam squad around really helps when your motivation is lacking. Just having people to lean on, really good to have. But that will be it for today's episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Like having the little chats, and motivation for me is a really big thing. I feel like I am able to motivate myself, but on those days when I'm not motivated, it's just kind of like, okay, Cam, today isn't going to be the best day, but let's make it as good as I possibly can so that tomorrow we step on again and we win that day. And winning that day can be anything. It can be making your bed. It can be doing better than yesterday. It can be doing better than you thought you could have done that day, but it can all vary. And last tip, before I say that's the end of the episode again, when you are very motivated, use it and remember what it feels like to be really motivated. When you're not motivated, try to think, okay, I'm not motivated today, but I have been very motivated before. So what did I do to get myself to that level? And think, it isn't the end of the world if you're not motivated. Everyone is not motivated 100% of the time. But using a couple of these tips, using your Yam squad, using your group of people, using your support network, all of those things can really help you. And okay, now it is the end of today's episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And remember, subscribe if you haven't already, hit that like button. Have a good one.